So again, welcome. We're going to go through in this presentation or this webinar some new updates from School Day about what School Day application and the well-being model is, and also about the scholarship program and the ambassador program, which may be new to some of you. I'd also like to introduce Sampo and Annika, who are on the call, who are from School Day as well. So we have our experts on the call with us. So School Day. Now, one thing I want to talk about is what is happening in New Jersey and how the challenge that New Jersey schools are facing. So this was a report that the New Jersey School Board Association put out in October about the need for social emotional learning to be addressed in schools. It was a result of the Parkland, Florida shooting back in February of last year. And what the report has found is that there is a need for social emotional learning in school. And it also, the report addressed issues of social emotional learning, character development, suicide prevention. And what they found is that it absolutely does have a place. And in the report, the NJSBA also makes recommendations about how to start addressing or implementing school social emotional learning in schools. And one of those very tangible ways that they said is by starting to conduct school climate surveys or needs assessments of students. So that's the challenge that New Jersey schools in particular are facing, and others as well. Everybody we have on the call today is from New Jersey. So School Day provides a solution to start that. So it's providing a needs assessment that in school climate culture surveys that schools can use to start to identify student needs and make action plans around how to integrate and address social emotional learning with their students. So if you're new to School Day, just to go over what it is, it's a cloud-based survey and analytics service. It uses the unique well-being model, which is an AI solutions for school, to survey students, collect data, and predict phenomena about how students are feeling and what actions or how they're experiencing school. It analyzes, explains, and develops student well-being for better learning. And teachers and school leaders, so superintendents or school building leaders at the district level or the school level, get real-time insights into students' well-being. So they'll be able to see how their school is faring by either comparing schools at the school level or by comparing classes and at the class level to determine what needs to be done and where their students are. And some goals of School Day are to enhance student well-being, remove barriers from learning, and open up a channel for communication. So the idea is that students are being given a voice in their school community. So the school leaders have data around how students are feeling, so can make plans rather than just going off of how they think their school is or how they feel. It's based on tangible data to make those pedagogical decisions. So as we continue talking about School Day, I want to just give a preview of what the students experience as they log into this application. So this is going to model the student-facing application and surveys that they experience that they are using with School Day. Now, when students are using School Day as part of their regular practice, they'll log in and have surveys that reset every 2 hours or so. So they have many opportunities to take. What you're also going to see in this video is some of the gamification that's included. So students are able to answer surveys, receive points, or level up, which a school can then use to integrate into their school economy system, or decide how to support and celebrate students who are sharing their voice with their school community. So it's an easy application that can be downloaded and compatible with any device. Now the great thing as well is that whatever emails they're already using, School Day will be able to emails and integrate them without having one login and they're using for all of their devices in their school, rather than doing it time. The point level student surveys, and also the integration of messages. So here students are looking at their surveys, very 5 questions, answers with similar methods. They'll tell them when to have their next survey. These are the methods that have been integrated to support students in getting information about and on how to improve their social emotional well-being, as well as a message to students. This is the example of a student leveling up after having their survey. So that's what students are experiencing. It's very quick, can be integrated into any classroom setting or as a school-wide initiative. As students are just going to go in, take the survey, and then read their messages, and they're done until the next survey is there. Now, from the administrator experience or teacher experience, they will have a insights application on the web browser that they're able to go in. So when they log in to this, when they log into their portal, they'll have the same login information, which will be great. Sorry, I'm just logging in, didn't save it. Sorry, everyone. Let me just pull the password. Oh, demo. So I'm just going to show you what it will look like when you're using it from a populated data once your school collects data. So as I'm logging into the main user page, I'm going to be able to check the different schools that I have to look at a macro level of school data. And I can also look per class. So from a macro level, as I click on my demo school, I'll be able to see the different indicators. I can see how data is faring across each of the different criteria. And as I dig deeper into those indicators, I can see the questions or the statements that are being asked, and also see how students are responding. I can look at the current week, 2 weeks, 1 month, or so on and so forth. So I have a lot of different data at my fingertips that I can use to compare at the school level, including all of the different indicators that students are answering questions about. So it's really a holistic approach to student well-being. The way it works for a class level, it's the same exact layout, but now looking at how did students respond in that class that's been identified. So now teachers also are able to gather the data, review it, and make changes in their classroom based on how students are feeling. So if I see that students aren't opting, or if they are studying together, and I know there's already that level of collaboration, how can I support students in doing that in the classroom or outside of the classroom? So I can start to see where my students are performing and make data-based action plans to support my students. Now, there are also some new releases I would like to show for January. So from the administrative portal, you're able to see the insights and the key indicators. And also, so the data has been broken down at different levels. So really you're gathering data from a macro to the micro and able to speak to student performance. So this is what the data is going to be looking like in the administrative portal. I'll scroll in so you can see. And these are for January 2020 releases. So now you can see at the individual level how students are responding similarly to the other one, but laid out differently. And also insights about how students are responding up top. And I wanted to go over the well-being model. I know the school day team has been updating this and sharing this as well. So this is a research-based the school day well-being model. So the data is based on these indicators. There are 35 of them across the different categories. So again, I've said this already, but just to reiterate, this really is a holistic approach to student well-being. We're not just focused on a student's mental health or physical health or well-being in school or well-being out of school. We're focusing on all of those categories and factors together. One thing I'd like to note for New Jersey participants are that we've also worked with School Day to go through the questions related to bullying to identify questions that would result in having to mandate report. So that way schools are getting information about how bullying, if there is bullying or how students are feeling around bullying in their school without crossing the mandated reporting. So for example, I have been bullied. If a teacher in New Jersey were to receive that statement from a student, they would have to identify the student and also report it. But we'll still know how students are feeling about bullying, but won't gain the issues of mandated reporting. And also another thing to point out for New Jersey and just all of the schools that are working with School Day in general, students are increasing their voice in their school community and feeling like their voices are heard because they're seeing tangible results between adjustments that are being made in their community and their voice or their surveys being given. So if students are also feeling more comfortable in trusting that their teachers are going to listen to them because them sharing their opinion and changes being made is part of the school culture, students will be more likely to also share or trust teachers to share any issues of bullying with them. Or that would be the hope, to build that culture of sharing and trust in the school. This is the cycle for the school day pedagogical cycle. So you're opening that channel for student communication. Students are sharing their voice. Teacher or school leaders are listening and using the data to drive the actions that they're making in the school. So again, we're not basing it just on feeling, we're basing it on how students feel and the data that supports that. And why school day is great for schools, with some examples and data that's pulled from the school day schools that are participating in Europe. So in this case, there are 6 schools with 600 students. So you can see that school day has a positive impact on student GPA, improvement on learning skills and motivation, saving money, and saving time. So digging into this data and this growth of that school day has resulted in a little bit further. So for student GPA, it's part of that removing barriers goal that I spoke about earlier. By removing those barriers to education, students are more motivated, engaged in attending school, therefore having a direct result on their GPA performance because students are spending more quality time in class, focused on what they're learning. In addition, that students are motivated and now feeling more confident and having that trust in their school. Because students are not as absent and the dropout rates are not as high, you have more money to spend on the students that are there, not spending resources on remediating absenteeism. And now you have more students in attendance, thereby providing more money per pupil. In addition, School Day is one of the new releases for January, and what they're already doing is integrating student information systems. So if you have PowerSchool or ClassView, for example, you're able to take data that you already have and integrate it with School Day, as well as build reports based on existing surveys. So rather than seeking out several different surveys that hit at different information and spending time analyzing that, you're now able to integrate your surveys and your data into one place, and thereby reducing the amount of money that you're spending on seeking out other surveys, which in turn saves time. You have less manual administrative work, and now the data is being automated, and you're able to have that data earlier as well and able to respond to needs rather than engaging in constant crisis responding. You're actually doing preventative work. And it's increasing like I said before, the amount of time that schools are able to focus on good teaching, delivering quality education, and students are engaging in quality education rather than being out of school or being, their needs are being met, so they're able to focus on what's happening in class. And just to reiterate why School Day is really set apart, it's this holistic approach to well-being. It's based in research. So they have a strong research team made up of educators and psychologists and business people as well to make sure that this is geared to support students and intern schools. It's based on AI and analytics, so you have that integration of student information systems. It's responding to how students are responding and able to give the best data reports available. It's easily scalable. I was speaking with a school recently about how to integrate this in there. We talked about the use of students in promoting this, or how it can really be integrated to reach multiple schools because it's a very large campus. And a lot of this is also made possible because the ambassador program, which I'll speak about in a second, it also ensures data security for student data privacy. There's not that much student information that's being attached to it. That's part of the model, is rather than identifying students based on how they respond, you're able to look at trends across your classrooms or across your schools. So speaking about the ambassador program, teachers or district leaders can become certified well-being ambassadors through this model. So it is a blended learning model, so you're going through webinars and entering in discussions in order to ensure that you are able to support students and your school through this well-being model and really be an ambassador for it in your school, which helps with the scalability. If you have teachers who are bought in and able to spread the message and also hold each other accountable for it and engage students in it, it'll be able to scale to your whole school or to multiple schools because the value will be seen and you have people who are really championing the program. So that's a lot of the goal of the ambassador program. So for this scholarship period, starting to transition to what next steps might be. So looking at a 60-day pilot period or scholarship period in which you are able to start integrating School Day and receive the data and go through the onboarding process. Something I want to highlight is that after the 60 days, it is low stakes. So if you decide not to opt in, you are able to do so. But the hopes would be you would see the value because of the amazing data that you're collecting, the ability to respond and meet students' needs, as well as the ability to scale it in your school. And you would transition to your full license, which would be per annum. So we'll go into formal Q&A. My contact information, as well as Sampo's, who is the Vice President of Sales at School Day, who's also joining us on this call, is up here. But I'd love to open it up if there's any questions, anything that you would like me to go back and re-show, I'd be happy to do so.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Erin. Let me introduce myself as well. So my name is Sampo, and as Erin was very clearly, and then that was very good presentation, Erin. Thank you for that. So anything comes in your mind, please ask now, or send me email later, or through Erin. So everything is possible. I'd like to answer all the questions and all the concerns that is needed.
So I'll stay on for a second if there are any questions for people who are joining us. Otherwise, again, this has been recorded, so I will send out the link for everyone to share with people who are interested, who would like to view this, who didn't get to be with us today. And you can email or call myself or Sampo just to continue the conversation as well. But if you have no more questions, you're welcome to hop off as well. And thank you so much for joining us today.